6060, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here. Today we've got 3 of the front attachments for the Kubota Grand L60 series tractors. These are some unique pieces that are a little hard to find good information on out there on the internet. So while we've got one set up here in the lot, we thought we'd do a quick walk around for you and show you some of the details. The hitch here that we're working on is an L5445, the Snowblower an L4474, and a front blade an L4486. So take a quick look at these 3 pieces with me. So front attachments have been available for mid-size and large compact tractors for a long time. But a couple years here, Kubota redesigned how these hitches worked and really took them a leap forward. This hitch itself, we have its own little video on exactly how it comes on and off the tractor, but this is now a toolless hitch. You don't have to get any wrenches out in order to take it on and off. It's also a lot more advanced as well. This hitch can be ordered in 2 different configurations. One that's purely manual, where you drive into your implement and lock it in place, and another is fully hydraulic, and that fully hydraulic version can drive into an implement and automatically hook up your hoses, your PTO shafts, and everything automatically, allowing you to switch implements from the seat. So when you drive into one of these attachments, there's a couple pieces here that are able to connect for you if you have the proper kits to make them work. The first here is all the hydraulic hoses. So you can see this Snowblower has a hydraulic rotator to spin the spout, and also a hydraulic cylinder up here to adjust the spout angle. When you drive into this, all these are going to connect for you. So you come up, press the button in order to activate all the locking mechanisms. This is going to be pushed open when you drive into it, and you'll see here are 4 hydraulic flat face couplers and these 2 guiding pins that guide it on. If you've seen the loader on the BX80 series, the new loader that came out that has a single lever manifold, this looks much the same. You can see a lot of the same technology in this coupler right here. You have the same very similar looking flat face couplers and everything to guide that together. Up on the PTO shaft here then, this is a Lovejoy coupler that's used on the PTO shaft. So when you come up, you pin into this thing, there's a shaft there. It's going to come forward and mate with this coupler right here to also engage your PTO. So that one motion of locking the attachment in is doing both the PTO and all the hydraulics without you having to leave the seat. A lot of the wizardry that's in this hitch is in that box that attaches and detaches everything. You can see down here on the bottom side of the hitch, there's some magnetic sensors that know when things have been brought together so that it's attaching and releasing at the right times and doing it safely. So there are 4 attachments that are in this series that can go into the front of our Grand L series tractor. The Snowblower and the front blade that we have here today, and also a broom and a flail mower that will also go through the same attach-detach process, giving you 4 options for really good heavy-duty stuff to go into the front of the machine. Looking at the attachments themselves here, obviously they're built to the same standard and quality that the tractor itself is. This isn't a chintzy snowblower. We've got a big shaft coming into the back. Big shafts bring power out to the side with chains that come to the front. A lot of our lighter duty snowblowers you'll see driven by central gearboxes. This isn't done that way. It uses a lot heavier shafting and big bearings and stuff on the outside. Many of these attachments are designed and built by a company called RAD in Canada. The Canadians absolutely know what they're doing when it comes to making snowblowers. So some really good quality construction here in the snowblower. The blade you'll see is much the same way. The moldboard is a good heavy moldboard. There's replaceable and flippable cutting edges down here on the bottom, so once you've worn out this edge, you can unbolt it and flip it to wear down the other edge then as well, so you get double life out of it. And then some big heavy cast iron skid shoes on the back of the blade in order to lift you up off of any stones that you may be on, or driveway asphalt surfaces if you're scraping those clean. So the construction of these things front to back is suitable and fitting for the big heavy hitch and big heavy tractor that it sits on. So I'm going to go through and switch implements here. Now you can see right now I've got the Snowblower on the front of the machine. In order to switch implements, I'm going to first take the implement and raise it the whole way up in the air. And then I've got a little control box down here that I'm going to push a button on in order to activate a diverter. And then I'm going to take my loader stick here and pull my loader stick back. And when I do that, I'm going to sit here for about 5 seconds, and I have a little indicator light on this controller that goes from green, saying that I'm attached, to red, showing that I'm now unhooked from my implement. Now if I set the snowblower down, I can now back away, and there she sits. Now I'm famous for doing these things on the fly. This is not something that we have sitting on the lot very often. So this is the second time I have put a front implement onto this tractor. So I'm not some kind of wizard at doing this. I will say here, coming up to this, I'm a little bit blind. I can look out the corner here and see the pins of the implement okay, but you do have to have a certain knowledge of how this front hitch is shaped to know like where the J is at here in order to grab the pin. And so there we go. Okay, so now once I pick the implement, I need to take it the whole way up, and once it's the whole way up, I can hit my diverter button for my front hitch, push my loader stick front, not going into float. If you go over into float, it's not going to work right. And then my light turns from red to green once everything's hooked up. So here it is, here's my hitch, and I can angle left to right. So all my hydraulics and everything connected automatically right here without me having to leave the cab. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to my snowblower. So if I take this thing the whole way front, hit my diverter button and pull backwards now to release the hydraulics. I'm just gonna wait for a moment till that guy turns red. Set this back down on the ground and back out of it. Hey, that's a piece of cake. The one nice thing about doing this is that I don't have anything to worry about angling front and back. You think of like putting a loader bucket onto a quick hitch of your loader. You kind of got to wiggle that coupler down underneath the bucket properly, and because this thing doesn't have any kind of angle to it, it's really easy. Just drive into, watch for those things to come together, lift, whole thing comes up in the air, hold down my diverter button and press forward, wait till my light turns green, and there's my hydraulics for left and right. I've got an additional diverter up here on my loader stick that I can flip a switch to do my spout up and down. And you can see too that I've automatically connected my PTO as well. So I can turn my PTO on and start the auger turning. And all of that stuff hooked up without me getting out of the cab, which is amazing. The couple of guys that we've sold these to have typically been more industrial uses, school districts, heavy duty commercial guys, that kind of thing, where this kind of efficiency and staying in the cab and that kind of stuff is well worth the investment in these extra pieces. You know, a broom is available too. So if you're a sidewalk guy, right, you can immediately go from having a broom to clean up your sidewalks, to a blade to go push out your parking lot, to a blower to go clean out your corners. All these things are very, very easy to switch back and forth between, which is awesome. So that's a little bit on the front attachments for the Grand L60 series tractors. If you'd like to see a little bit more about this, we're going to do another video here shortly showing the exact steps that it takes to remove and install the subframe on the tractor. So check our other videos if you're interested in that. Any parts or service needs for any of your equipment, or you're shopping for a piece like this, we're glad to help. Our website's www.messiks.com, or you can call us at 800-222-3373.